welcome you to my brand new YouTube channel. My name is Levi, and what is this channel? Well, I wanted a place where I could put my music thoughts out there, my music rants, where I'm not annoying all my friends, because a lot of my friends, they aren't into bands that I like, and so I feel like sometimes I'm annoying them with all my, constant ranting, so I wanted a place where I could go and voice it, and hopefully get a few people watching that are really into this kind of music, and give me some opinions, give me some music recommendations in the comments. Let's get a discussion going, but let's not waste any further time. Let's get into the album we will be discussing today, and that is KG.
We had this idea of adding some secret notes, kind of like...
Alright, so I got KG right here, which was a release in 2020 from King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. And it's a little special to me personally. It's the reason I decided to pick it first is it was my first King Gizzard album that I had ever listened to, brand new. I got into King Gizzard like July of last year, so I had like 3 months of buffer time before this thing came out. And but to that point, all the music I had listened to by King Gizzard was stuff that had already been put out. So this is my first new release that I got to hear, and the new album release hype definitely got me where I was saying this is my favorite King Gizzard album. How has it held up? I mean, we're almost a year into it, a year into its release now. How has it held up? And I would say it's held up pretty well. It's, in my spectrum of King Gizzard albums, it's like in the middle, I would say. I can't give a definitive list because after 10, it really started, like after you do your top 10, it gets really blurry. Like even like after top 5, it's very difficult for me. But if I had to guess, it would be in like that middle range. I think a thing that kind of drives it down is the lack of super, super memorable songs. It's got a few on there, which we'll cover, that are brilliant. But then there's some that are just like, that's good. Like I'm not going to listen on repeat, but if it comes on, I'm not going to skip it. And I think that's how a lot of this album goes. So I think we'll just go track by track, and I'll give you my favorites, and we'll see. So the intro song on KG is KGLW, which even at the time I listened to that and I was like, there's definitely not another album coming, is there? I don't know. I guess I was completely naive. It was a total giveaway that there would be another album releasing after this one, which is right here, LW. And it's a really cool intro song to the KGLW. Like if you're going to listen to both of them back to back, it's a really cool, intro to it. Kind of warms up your ears to the microtonal sound, and it's a good instrumental. I mean, it has a good transition into the next song, Automation, and it's good. I mean, it's the shortest song on the album, and I think it serves its purpose as an intro song. Second up, like I just mentioned, is Automation, which is one of the singles that released before this album came out, and it's good. It's a good rock song. It's not gonna blow your socks away, but it's good. And obviously KGLW is the intro song, but if this is like the first real song of the album, and I think it does a good job, but I don't know if it's gonna draw a ton of people into the album. It's good, but I think a song after it, Minimum Brain Size, is way better. And this was not a single, and it's one of the Joey Walker songs, who I think Joey always kills it with all the songs that he does. However, this is not his best song on the album. We'll get to the other one. But Minimum Brain Size, it's good. It's catchy. It's got the, the repeating, the minimum brain size. It's a good jam. And it's solid, and it was my friend's favorite song off the album, I think, after his first listen. Next up after Joey's song is an Ambrose song, which is a trend that we'll see in LW as well. It's good. Straws in the Wind is not my favorite Kenny Ambrose song. Like if I had to rank all of them, it would probably be near the bottom, which isn't a bad thing necessarily because all of his songs are just Kenny Ambrose. He's a beautiful man.
I'm Ambrose. Strangers call me Kenny. This is my MIDI. These are the keys to her heart.
And he just kills it. And speaking of Kenny Ambrose, there will be plenty of Murlocs reviews coming, so if you're a Murlocs fan, I am too. I'm a massive Murlocs fan, so we'll be covering that next, or at some point soon. And Straws in the Wind, I like the second half of it a lot. I like the, the kind of instrumental part of it where it's like, I don't know, that's probably cringe, but it's good. And I know I keep describing songs as good, but we haven't really gone to one of those Hall of Fame level jams yet, but we are. And up next is Some of Us, which is probably my least favorite song on the album. Nothing against it, but I don't think it shouldn't have been a single at all. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not one of those songs that you're going to listen to and get hyped up for KG because of it. However, the part that the song nails is its outro into Ontology. Which is probably one of the best King Gizzard transitions of all time, in my opinion. Just the build-up at the very end that goes into the woo of Ontology and the do 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 do. Like it's good. And Ontology was one of the first songs in this album listening to that I was like on a first listen. I was like, that song is awesome. And the second half guitar solo is it's amazing. And Ontology is one of the most overlooked King Gizzard songs in my opinion. And it's in my top 3 of the album for sure. But my number 1 song on the album comes up next, and it's probably a lot of your favorites. A lot of your favorite songs off the album is Intrasport, which I think is technically a single. Like if you look up KG, I think they say it was because it came out like a day before or something. I didn't listen to it when it was a single. I guess I don't know about that. But when it did come out, when I listened to it with the album for the first time, and all the memes on Reddit were preparing me for it's an amazing song, disco, all the memes, and I was like, I gotta listen to this. I was patient, and I listened to the album all in one go, and it is amazing. And it's, probably the most unique song on the album. It's got like a disco, Turkish, electric beat, and the music video is probably one of their best music videos ever. You could just tell they're having a bunch of fun with it. Joey Walker, he's back for another amazing song on this album, and it is just, it delivers. And I don't know anybody that can listen to Intrasport and be like, it's a little boring, Like, it might not be your sound, but I think anybody can get down with Intrasport, and it is the best song on the album, in my opinion. There is a close second, and we'll be getting to it. So after Intrasport is Odd Life, and Odd Life is a good one. I would probably put it before, Automation, and I would put it before Minimum Brain Size and Some of Us and stuff like that, but it's good, and I love the Kenny Ambrose part of it, where he's doing like his rap. I don't listen to rap, so I don't know if that qualifies as rap, but his he's singing really fast, and it's really catchy, and definitely one of their best heavy songs. It's got like that, it's very crunchy, and I like Odd Life. But the way it transitions, which transitions are going to be something I talk about all the time on this channel. It'll probably be like a meme or something at some point with this channel. But the transition from Odd Life to Honey is really cool, and Honey is probably the most accessible song on the album. It was, I think, the lead single, and it's got that really catchy do 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 do, that kind of repeats, and the lyrics are really good. I think the lyrics are kind of a standout on this one. I just love the words that they use. It's just a very positive, wholesome, happy song, and a lot of people can probably get down with Honey. But we take a complete 180 from Honey as we go into my second favorite song on the album, which might get a little bit of flack, as I don't think the song is very beloved. The Hungry Wolf of Fate. Which does get overlooked by the album closer of LW, in my opinion, which is awesome as well. But The Hungry Wolf of Fate was another one of those songs that on a first listen, I really enjoyed. Which is funny because at that point, I hadn't really been into Infest the Rat's Nest yet. I love that album now, but at the time when I listened to this, I wasn't really into it. So this was kind of weird for me that I really enjoyed a heavy King Gizzard song, and it's just great. And the lyrics, they're not amazing, but once you look them up and you sing along to with the song, it's just headbanging action, and I think it closes out the album really well. And it's my second favorite song on the album, and I think it's a really good way to close things out. I think this album does a fantastic job of having a great intro and a great outro. The Hungry Wolf of Fate, it just like the Flying Microtonal Banana song from the previous album, it transitions into the other one. Hungry Wolf of Fate completely transitions into If Not Now Then When on LW, which we'll get into on our next video. But yeah, I guess that's my review on KG. I don't know if this was, like very like insightful. Like I don't think people are going to listen to this and be like, "Man, I know a lot more about KG now," but I just wanted an opportunity to talk about an awesome album, which is probably going to be most of these videos. I just want to talk about great music, and KG is a great one. And plenty, I'm going to be reviewing every single King Gizzard album, and I promise these will get better as I go along. But I guess the last thing I got to do is rate the album cover, which is always going to be the last segment on these. And I like it, but I will say, in terms of King Gizzard album covers, it's probably not at the bottom, but because there's no bad King Gizzard albums. I think they all do a fantastic job of portraying the tone and the mood of the album. But I think this album cover, it gets an A plus when you account for LW, when you can put them next to each other. I don't have enough space, but you guys can just see it's, you can hold it next to each other and it says KGLW. It's kick ass. And the back of the vinyl has it's the mirrored version of this, so very cool shit. And I don't know what my rating scale will be. I guess the thing I'm concerned with is I think King Gizzard albums are going to get reviewed a lot differently than pretty much every other band on this channel, as I'm a biased little baby boy who can't, put his opinions down. I don't know, I'm just kidding, but I am going to get some serious King Gizzard opinions, I'm sure. Just know it'll be very difficult for me. I hate trash talking, my favorite band. But I guess I would give KG on a 1 to 10. We'll do that. I would give, as for an album, I would give it like an 8 out of 10. For a King Gizzard album, I would give it like a 6. And of course, that's not, I'm not dissing it by giving it a 6. I'm just saying if I had to be completely non-biased and just rate the King Gizzard albums like with a score on its own scale, I'd give it like a 6. But for an album, it gets the job done. It's got really catchy songs. I wouldn't give it anything lower than an 8, but I wouldn't give it anything higher than an 8 either. I think it gets the job done with an 8. And up next, we'll be covering LW. Please subscribe. Give me some constructive criticism, because this obviously was not a perfect video, but I want to get better and I want to produce better content. So just let me know what you guys think, and I hope you guys all have a great day, and we'll see you next time.